All right, good morning. Starting a little late today, but starting nonetheless. So, I have been working on some stuff. Let me see if I can pull up what I was working on before, and then I'll sort of explain. We're going to change gear. I am still working on my Game Boy game, but I really wanted to switch gears and sort of focus on I started messing around with ChatGPT 5 and just wanting to see what we can get out of it. So I was doing this, and basically I saw some videos of people who are showing off ChatGPT doing like JavaScript stuff in the canvas. So I started messing around with it myself. I don't know if there's a way to like open canvas. I don't know if this will still run because I had to do a bunch of stuff. Yeah, fix bugs. Whatever, I'll tell it to fix this bug. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I've already moved this stuff off. Long story short is that I have been using ChatGPT 5 to sort of test out what it could build. And I had created this game design document for a game called Kingdom by the Sea almost 9 years ago, and sort of fleshed out all of this stuff, but I never really built it. And what I'm trying to figure out now is, one, is this game even viable or fun? And two, what do I need to actually get it up and running? So I asked ChatGPT, like, hey, go prototype out this game and give me just a very basic implementation of it. I don't know if it's doing something right now. Maybe it is. It's running really slow, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter, because what I've done is I took the prototype that ChatGPT came up with, and I've now moved it into my own dev environment, and I am playing around with some 3JS stuff. So I haven't done 3JS in a long time, and my knowledge of 3D is, I mean, I've written 3D engines before, but very, very basic ones. So I'm not like the best at 3D. So what I was starting to do, I'll just hide this debug window, is I have two separate views going on. And this is just pure JavaScript. Like it's using Vite to serve it, and it's just directly wrapping like a WebGL render. So I have two renderers that are going on. The one at the bottom is the debug one, and then this one at the top here is the 3D. Debug and 3D sound very similar. I don't know how I can get rid of this screen now. Let me see if I can make this a little wider. Oh, hey, I can zoom in. Okay, so the way that this game works is that it randomly generates out an island, and you are a king on this island, and you have to develop the island. So there's a whole bunch of different tiles. Let me actually also open up Asaprite, and I'm going to open up, let's open up one of these files. Where's my workspace? Kingdom by the Sea. Assets. And we'll just open up this. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 tiles basically right now for placeholders. And the idea is that you have D for deep water, W for like light water, that's like coastal water. You have G for grass, T for trees, M for mountains, H for houses and structures, and F for F is for farms. But I also realized that I need to have some for towns and some other things. So we'll continue to work on this. Although I don't remember what I used for the font on this computer because I was on my Mac. But anyway, so the idea is that you go through. So it's a turn-based game. You have a certain amount of gold that you start off with, a certain amount of food, a certain amount of wood, and a certain amount of people. And each person you have gives you an action. So I'm going to take like this grass, for example, and I'm going to turn this into a farm. And then I'm going to turn the one next to it to a farm. And I'm going to cut down the trees and convert this into a grass. So when I cut down the trees, I will get the wood back at the end of the turn, and both of these farms will get created. So when we end the turn, it sort of tells us what happened. We've gotten 2 pieces of wood. We haven't lost anyone, and it just gives me some like debugging stuff right now. I need to fix these storms because they like just destroy everything. But the idea now is that once you have a farm, you can assign a person to it. And then once that person is in that farm, then it's actually going to start producing food. And the game is just not very balanced. It's not balanced very well right now. But I wanted to mess around with, like, right now I'm going to lose a person and I lost gold. Now I can put someone into this farm. And what I was playing around with was this idea that, like, you have to keep balancing having people run these farms to feed people. You have to balance housing them, which I haven't gotten into yet, and you have to balance how you expand out, because if you go through all your trees, you won't have any building material, and I haven't figured out sort of what I want to do about that. But so this is the sort of this is basically the game concept. And then what I want to do now is I'm trying to just mess around with this 3D tile map stuff, and I wanted to see if I can come up with a renderer that was very similar to how what is it called? It's Final Fantasy Tactics worked, where it's sort of like this perspective. And so what we'll do over the next hour is I'm just going to start like prompting ChatGPT, and I just kind of want to see where it works and what it's able to do. Let me do this real quick. I want to get more space for both of these. Where's terminal? And I want to do SSH. Oops, let's just do this. Clear SSH NAS studio NAS.local. And then I will just SSH into my NAS, if I could figure out my password. CD, I want to do coder, workspace, and this is Kingdom by the Sea. Okay. So I want to do git status. I just can't remember what I was working on before. All right, I've modified the renderer, git add all, git commit cleaning up water in 3D renderer. All right, and git branch. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a git branch v 0.2.1 and git checkout v 0.2.1. All right, so what I want to do now is I'm going to see, I just want to keep pushing. I've been using Claude for most of my stuff lately, and it's been pretty good. I've been getting like hit or miss things with ChatGPT 5, but what I want to see real quick is, can we just add depth? And the way that I want to start handling depth is I want to I want to have it where mountains are higher. Anything close to a mountain is a level below it, and then the water is always at the bottom. So let's see if we can describe this and what ChatGPT wants to do with it. So, all right, I want to create height to the map. Right now, okay, so water is always the bottom layer, and mountains are the top, and everything else falls in line with that, which is not very clear. Okay, hold on a second. We're going to try this again. You are an expert in 3.js and, oops, I should probably write 3 instead of tree. You're an expert in 3.js and game development. We're going to add height to our 2D plane rendering system. Right now, each tile is 16 by 16, and when raising a tile, it should go 16 high. Water is always flat at the bottom layer, and when there are mountains, they should raise up a level. If there are more than, should raise up 2 levels, and the immediate tiles should raise up 1 level around the mountain. If there are more than 1 mountain connected, if there are more than 1 mountain connected, the center tile of the mountain range should grow based on the surrounding mountains, and the other tiles should be reduced by 1 tile all the way back down to the water. I don't think this is going to work, but can you quickly prototype this and add debugging code if I click on a tile in the 3D renderer with shift down? Actually, can you quickly prototype this and add debugging code if I hit plus the currently selected tile will increase a level, and minus will decrease? when manually changing height, all surrounding tiles should do the same. All right, let's just throw this in here and see what it does. My thinking is, one, it's just going to fall on its face, and two, I want to see, I guess, what this is even capable of. I'm working on a little thing off to the side, so figured I would try to be as productive as possible. Usually when I'm coding now, especially when I'm using all these agents, I just have like 2 or 3 projects open at the same time that I'm always working on. So while I'm waiting for one to do something, I can switch over to another. Seems to work well with my ADD. G2 scan. All right. I'll scan the project's core file to understand how tiles rendering input and state currently work. Scan a height system. So I think the other thing we should do right now also is I should probably just come up with a project for this one. We'll create a new project. We're going to call this Kingdom by the Sea. And normally I don't mind doing these things. Usually I was doing a lot of my stuff public, but I don't know, lately as I'm experimenting more, I've been keeping things more private. You know, why don't we'll just make this game in public. There's no reason to really hide any of it. I think I already have a git ignore file. Yeah, all right. We'll create this repository. We'll copy this SSH and git status clear. Oh wait, I need to do this. Push all. So many different passwords to keep track of. All right, so that should now push this to Git. And the reason why I wanted to push this is so that I can start creating issues. One of the issues is that you need dials. Need way to tweak disasters. Need a set. Need to add a slider to the debugger that lets me scale up and down the disaster effects each turn. Right now they are too frequent. I'm just trying to, okay, good. Spell check is working. Usually I'm not a very good speller, so frequent. I will assign this to myself, and as far as labels go, this is going to be an enhancement. And we'll create some more All right, so let's take a look at what it's doing right now. Okay, I'll add a height field to tile computing the height map after world generation with mountain peaks and descending rings of water. Render height into 3D and wire up a plus keyboard debug control system. All right. I just wanted to see if these are still being selected in the 3D map, and they are. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there. Like, none of this is like responsive yet, so maybe we should add something like need to add some kind of to fix layout issues at different. All right, this will be a. This is a bug that I want to fix. Oh, I hate when I do that. Assigns to myself. The label will be a bug, and we're going to create more. The next thing I wanted to do was pin 2D map to bottom right corner. Need to make the debug 2D map a mini map and pin it to the bottom right corner so the full screen is the 3D map. I was kind of hoping that I could on documentation. This is an enhancement. I'm still working on my Game Boy game for the Game Boy Jam, but I've actually switched gears and I've been working on this tool now to test my Game Boy games, and I've actually been having more fun with that. And the Game Boy Jam actually does allow you to submit a tool, so I think I'm going to switch gears for that. I just am trying to, in the background, get things up and running. All right, so let's see, where did we get to? Run, oops. Wait, what did I want to run? Stop. Okay. No logo, get command, right output. Okay, all right. I will have to manually run node commands, so don't do that. And we'll just add that to the next. So let's start this and interesting. So it is adding this, it is increasing this. That's cool. It actually puts the water, you see the water underneath it. All right, I need to get rid of this debug. All right, there's a few things there to fix. Auto hide the 3D debugger and disable zooming in and out with the plus minus keys so I can focus on testing the height. All right, so I'm gonna try to do a better job of clear. Actually, I want to pull over. I've been messing around more with GitHub instructions for the editor. Where can I add my instructions? I always forget where this is. Chat attach chat new instruction file. We'll put this in here, and we're going to call this git commit, and we're going to paste this in here, but I'm going to do some stuff here too. I want to get rid of these releases. I don't care about that. I don't know why this is so. Let me. Whoops. Make this a little smaller just so I can see what's going on here. Just trying to clear up a lot of this garbage here. The idea behind these instructions, so the way that these instructions work basically is that as you add these instructions, it's supposed to include these in the prompt that goes out. So let's see if moving forward this gives us some new git commands. So what I want to do is git status, so I can see what happened here. Whoops, I hate this. All right, git status, git add, git commit, adding debug height logic to map. Yeah, this is not really where I wanted to start for this game. Usually I just focus more on, usually I just focus a lot more on the game logic, but I have a good amount of it sort of worked out now. I want to get to a place where I can start cleaning up this design. And well, once it fixes this, what I want it to do is I want it to start, so basically what should happen is that if this mountain is one high, that T should be down for the trees. Like, but if this mountain goes up to, like, basically where I want is that T to stay there and this mountain to go here, and then work on that height system. When tiles need to be textured. Let me just take a screenshot of what's going on here. Yeah, it's like sort of doing something here. Whoops, it restarted while I was in the middle of... I'll just add this picture here. All right, so select the tile, press. All right, good. So now we're not doing this weird zooming in and out thing. All right, let's, before we, did it give us our commit command? Fine. Git add. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get Copilot to act a little bit more like how like Lovable works, where like after every like big commit, it excuse me, after every big commit, basically what it does is it should give me, or actually any change to the code, it should basically allow me to commit right there, because I've been having a lot of problems where like this does like crazy stuff and I need to like roll back. So let's get this going. I think so. Now we have the commit. Fine. Now I want you to add textured faces to the sides of each tile that are raised up. Use the first row in the texture sheet for the sides of each tile. I wanted to take a picture of this so we can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I was hoping that this would actually be a pretty quick and interesting game to make on a Game Boy, but then I got really like stuck on this idea that I really want this 3D map. So I'm playing around with this idea of like having like two versions of it, where you have like the actual main game and then I port it over to the Game Boy. I don't know if I really want to start a whole new game before, just to finish this game jam. I only have a couple weeks left. I really need to focus on that, but I'm getting closer to a lot of these things. I do really want to go back to my Reaper Boy game. I really need to sit down and think through what that should do. Using row 0 texture for the atlas and repeating them. Okay. Now also like this spacing out because I'm looking at a different screen. It is a little boring while this thing does its thing. Added vertical side meshes to raise the... I think what I want to do next is I wanted to work on this I really wanted to work on this a little bit more. And what I was thinking of is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think what needs to happen is, let's do this. Let's show the grid. Let's enable snap to grid. I think what needs to happen is that each of them needs to have their own 3 rows. The only one that doesn't really matter is that the shadows will always be this like fog of war stuff will always just be its own row, and the letters go here. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to need to add more types. So I'm going to map that out in a minute, and I'll just sort of work through the graphic stuff that I need. All right, so now select the help as a commit message. Hey, look at this. That's some progress. All right, and I see what's going on right now is that this is a hidden tile. So the real question is, if this is a mountain, all right, I think what we're going to do is this. We're going to keep this seed. Where can I just write this down real quick? I'll just put this at the end of this document. You know what? Actually, I'll put this in here. Use this seed. Use seed when testing height. What I was going to do was, wait, I don't think that's what I wanted. I want to go here and I was just trying to explore more of the tile map. Yeah, all right. I don't think I'm able to explore anything else. Let me do this for right now. Can you temp disable? Wait, you add a debug key to turn on and off the fog of war. Use the T key. Sure. Wait, no, we should use F key. And before we do anything here, let's copy this and we'll do git add and let's commit this. Why can I like lost my view here? Sorry, hold on one second. I lost my chat window. All right. I have like so many windows open on my Mac. I think it's just like actually slowing it down. Maybe I minimized it is the problem. Nope. There we go. There we go. All right, refresh. Now I can see my chats again. Okay. So what I was trying to figure out here was, all right, I was committing. Can you add a debug key to turn on and off the fog of war? Let's keep these changes. The reason why I'm doing this is that I wanted to make sure that I am able to take snapshots of the entire map, and also the fog of war is like acting a little weird. I haven't really thought through how to do fog of war in 3D, which is an interesting problem to sort of work through. Once it finishes this, I'm going to take a quick little break and then I will be back. But yeah, I think so. We're going to work on for the next hour or two is just figuring out this like height map stuff and seeing how it'll work and whether it makes sense or not. I've always wanted to make a game like this. It's just a matter of sitting down. A game like this is like a 3D sort of like map strategy game. All right, is this now working? funny. I haven't. There's so many things that I'm still missing that need to be added in. We should map out that as well. Oh, all right. I'll come back to this one. Let me duplicate this for a second. Oh, actually, we'll finish this one thought, and then I'll go through and figure out the tiles and stuff that I need. I'll actually ask it, and I need to pull this stuff out from the design document. Out of curiosity, I wonder if this is, yeah. So this was the original game that I had it build out, which you can see is very similar. And for the most part, it was actually pretty interesting. I just gave ChatGPT 5 my design document, and then said, here, can you prototype out this idea? And, you know, it actually did. So I was pretty impressed with that. The biggest problem that I started noticing when it came to doing this stuff is that it's using ChatGPT's canvas. So there's a limit to how much it can actually do. So I was getting a lot of errors on, once you start building out something that's like more complex than, you know, a couple pages, it really starts telling you like, hey, I can't run this in the canvas. And so you're very limited in what you can actually do in here, which I think also contributes a lot to what you're seeing out there. Is like people are showing these like demos like, oh, hey, look, I had this build like a 3D circle and map the game of life on it. And the problem is that those aren't real examples, because they're just like little prototypes and toys. They're not like a fully functioning site. So I don't know. It's a little bit limiting into what you can do and what you can't do. But okay, cool. So what I want to do is reset. I want to find a good map. Here we go. This is a good map. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create this seed. Whoops, it didn't give me the seed, did it? Copy. And I'm just going to, in this thing, I'm going to, let me see if I can copy this image out and paste it. Oh, perfect. All right, I want to actually create some seeds and see if, I want to get some ideas of like good variations of the map. Let me reset this. Let me start this, and I want to reset it, and I'm going to feed it the seed back again and see if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How did it generate out multiple homes? Huh, that's weird. Explore. Oh, it's a town. It's a town. I need to do something with towns. Let me write a quick idea here. Into kingdom. All right, so let me reset this map, and let's try. This is explore a town, huh? Let's keep resetting these. Start. Oh, here's a good one. This is all mountain, water. And yeah, let's get this seed. All right, we're in preview. Copy. Let me come up with a couple more of these and then I'll take a quick break and then we'll start working on actually texturing them correctly. Oh yeah, this is a weird one. I think there's going to need to be some rules around how mountains grow. Oh shoot, I lost the seed for that one. Wait, what's going on here? Oh wait, or are these they're close. That sucks. I lost the seed for that other one. I wonder if we could do something where, well, let's just start. I'll just see if I can find some other ones. Reset. This looks like an interesting one. And I'll copy this. Reset. This is sort of like a grassland. One. Let's do one more that, yeah, that's a good one here. I don't think it changed the... So weird. Like, I have so many weird copy-paste issues on this PC, but I think this is more because I'm using my mouse from my Mac, and it's sharing it over the network. All right, so now we have a bunch of different maps that we can use. And what I want to do is, this is going to be our default one. So let's create this. And all right, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I will be back in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to continue with building out the height maps and getting this to look more like a generated island. I was just saying, I'm back and I was having a quick snack, so I'm going to put it on mute real quick while I finish chewing, and we'll continue on with this. All right, so I don't know why it stopped doing the height, but the one thing I'm noticing is like the height's like just really, it's like a little too high, but that's fine. There's also some rules and things that I want to do, and I haven't decided whether I want to do them now. We should probably do them now. Git add. Okay. All right, so now it's doing the height. And it just looks really like boring. So I need to figure out how to make this more interesting. I wonder what happens if we feed it one of our let's feed it this seed and see what happens. I want to create a new all right. So the real question is, why isn't it how about this? I think I know what I want to do. Okay. Can you modify the plus minus debug logic to only affect the tile I have selected, since I am manually doing this for testing? And can you give me a debug way to print to the console the seed, the map, tile IDs, and the height map, so we can test and validate this better. All right, so the one thing that ChatGPT had done for me originally was that it did include some unit testing, and I don't have it running right now. I could do the inspector, which I probably need to do anyways, and go to the console and put this here, remove this here. I don't even know what the error is that it's giving me. Oh, this is just the test. There's like one test where it really just can't figure out how to do this test. Yeah, so the goal of what I'm trying to do right now is I want to get it to a place where I can click on a very specific tile and just raise that tile only. And then I want to be able to output that to the console, because one of the things we could do with unit testing is that we can verify. I could feed it some seeds of tile maps, and it could generate out what it thinks those heights and things are going to be, and then I can verify and test it. So we'll come up with some unit test a little bit later on. Alright, it's breaking some code here, which is fine. I'm just like looking through this and trying to figure out. Let me go to... There was a game that I had a reference of. I don't have it. Ugh, there's so many tabs that I've opened. Trying to find... Here we go. So I was looking at this game, which I believe is a Pico 8 game, I think, and I liked sort of this layering effect and how it was a little bit more subtle. And this is sort of what I'm going for. And I think maybe raising it by the mountains isn't the correct way of doing this. But yeah, I love the slope that happens here. So I'm going to try to figure out how to reproduce something similar to this. The other reference is going to be Final Fantasy Tactics PS1 level design. Let's do maps and see if it actually will give us images for some of these maps. Yeah, like this is sort of what I'm going for. Oh, I should have just... and this is more, I can't tell, I don't know which version of the game this is, but I think this might be the Game Boy one, Game Boy Advance one, but this is what I'm like going for right now. I really like that like sort of like stepped approach. Let's check in with our little guy here and see what it has created for us. So, it's now created this monstrosity. Let's I wanted to add a bug that I just thought of. Deep water, not selectable. Remove selection for deep water and don't even need to render it in 3D since the deep water tile is used in the background. It's not really the background, but that's close enough. Create. So, all right. What I wanted to play around with was like I was kind of thinking like trees, like the forest would have this. They would just be like a bunch of trees around the edges, and mountain. So this is the thing that's like really weird to me. Ugh. I need to, oh, there we go. I can move it now with my mouse. You know what? While we figure this out, let's have it do this. Let's keep this. All right, we'll just push all these changes. Can you make the 3D view the main view for the game and put the debug 2D view in the bottom right corner of the window. I also have a debug. I don't think I need this camera debug thing anymore. All right, added a debug dump button that prints out map bound to K. All right, whatever this is just terrible. Hide this. Right. Well, there's no. Okay, I see. There's nothing to. There we go. So now if I hit K, this will give me the heights and the tile IDs. Okay, cool. That works. Let's see. What else do we want to do here? Yeah, I want to get this to where when this thing is like selected, it doesn't let's hide this by default. Yeah, we need to come up with a much better system for staggering this landscape. So let's have it do this. I'm going to have it work on this, and then I want to take a look at some of these. I think the real key to this stuff is that it's only like the steps are very small. Like if I'm looking at, it looks like they're half the height for each of these steps. Yeah, like this is. Open in a new tab. Oh, these are so cool. Yeah, like this. This is what we want to get it to. Open image in a new tab. That's like perfect. Like where I want to get it to, whereas we have these sort of like slopes down and sort of more organic-ish shapes. So we'll see what we can render out. This site's a great site. Let me just add this to here. And all right, start the game. There we go. Now it's out of the way. It's like this mountain should be 2, 1. And I think just to get this to be like all right, so that's next on my list. I think is the next thing is commit. All right, so all right. I'm going to try to be more... I hate having to do this manually. Good. but at least I don't have to type it anymore. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fix the Z depth so that the map is always underneath. Or right now the map is just showing as underneath it. This is pretty interesting. I'm kind of curious. I want to poke at the 3 renderer. So I don't think it's actually a lot of code. It's getting there. We're gonna have to refactor some of this stuff down. I wonder why it's taking. I wonder why this is so complicated when this should be like a really quick fix. I'm still not seeing. Let's see if we can get this working. So the whole idea is that we'll at least always have this 2D map on the bottom right, and then I can use that for sort of debugging. I want to pull up some more references of things. Here we go, like this. Open image in new tab. It's a really shitty picture. There we go. I want to see stuff like this. Open image in a new tab. Open image. I want to see stuff that goes to the water and how they handle like the building stuff is fine. I really want to see how they handle more of the like organic layouts. Open image in a new tab. Yeah, alright, these are some good references. I think I just pulled the same reference. Let's see if this map has been fixed. Ugh. Trying to see if I can figure out how to. Yeah, I don't understand why it's still not working. Maybe the 3 cameras is the lowest CNT. Do a hard refresh if you want the 2D canvas to be click through. So floating above the 3D map, but the new game modal is working and is over the 3D map. So can you do something similar? Also, I want it to retain clicking input. Clicking on a tile in the 2D or 3D map should show the tile highlighted in both maps. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right. Okay, so the only other thing I'm seeing here is that there is an issue with the clicking in the 2D map where some tiles are offset by 1. Can you confirm the mouse to point to tile conversion is working correctly in the 2D map? I just want to make sure this isn't part of the 3D map. All right, that works out well. All right, let's have it run this command now. So I think what I'll probably do is for the next, I don't know, like 30-ish minutes or so, I'll just continue with testing this out. I have a bunch of other projects I need to be working on at the same time, but maybe for the next couple of days, I'll be around until Wednesday that I can stream. I'll just start doing, I'll stream more of this stuff as I progress. Maybe I need to record my screen while I do it so I got to start getting my act together with YouTube and building out more content for it. I haven't been able to organize myself. Is this all working correctly? The lag is like really weird. Okay. That works out well. All right, so now what I want to do is now I want to 16 high. They should be 8 high. All right, so hopefully what'll happen is that we'll get this to a place where it's becoming a little bit more like those references. I like that you can't. The other thing I want to do is, let me add a need to water to land. In the debugger, when you reduce a tile to the water level, it should be water. It should water. And if you increase water, it becomes land. Also, these changes should update the seed when that happens. I don't know if you can update the seed while it does it, but long story short, the idea behind what I want to do is that I want to start manually coming in here and manipulating these. I want to come in here and manually start manipulating these tiles, and I could build my own maps out. Sort of like SimCity's sort of like their level editor. And so the basic idea would be that anything that's one tile down would be anything that's on the bottom layer is always going to be water, and then each step up should intelligently turn it into something else. Oh yeah, this is so much better. What I want to do is keep these changes. Can you add some basic flat shading to the sides of the tiles when they are raised, so it's easier to see the depth. All right, what I want to see now is if we could do a little bit of flat shading, if that would make this a little bit easier to read. All right, the smoke alarm went off. All right, let's see here. I'll add flat shading to the sides of the faces. Oh, so much better. Look at that. Like now it's actually starting to look like what I want. Yeah, the half height was exactly what needed to happen. Oh, this is so cool. It's funny because I was debating doing this in Unity, but honestly, it's working so much better in just WebGL. I don't have to deal with Unity's BS. Okay, let's do this now. I want to keep this. This is good. Why didn't it give me a... It's weird. I could start seeing that like I've gotten to the end of this chat. It doesn't remember now that it needs to give me commit messages. Git add. All right. Now I want to normalize the height of land to always be raised up by 1. Water is always 0. So the base of the land should always be above water. When editing, if the tile goes to 0, turn it into water, and if water goes to 1, turn it to grass land, to grass. Update the random seed accordingly as land is created or removed. All right, let's see what this is able to come up with. But yeah, one thing I've noticed though is it's not, oh, it is restarting the level. Oh, I see. It's just this fog of war. I think I need to get rid of this fog of war at this point. I don't think the fog of war is going to work. I think what needs to happen is that, let me actually make a note of this. Remove fog of war. Need to replace fog of war with realm bounds. Oops, realm bounds. So you always see the full island, but you can't convert tiles unless they are touching a tile you control. So similar to fog of war, but you see everything, and we need a outline of some sort to show this boundary, or we darken the tile with shadow in real time. Not sure how to handle this in 2D map. All right, let's see if this is done. There we go. Now it's starting to look like an island. And let's see if this works. So we're going to reduce this. We're going to increase this. See, this is where it gets like really weird. It doesn't like, how is it creating all these variations of random seeds? They should all be, all right. I've accepted the changes. You don't need to run npm at all. I will do that. The only issue is that the random seed is changing to random numbers if I move a single tile up or down. For example, I start with this. Oops. All right, here's where the debugger is going to come in handy. Let's show the console and clear. I gotta go look into what that error is, but like here, we start with a seed. Okay, here we go. It does all this for me. I don't know why this is so shitty, but all right, I start with this. Then I turn one tile to water. But turning the tile back to land doesn't restore the same random seed. So now if I come here and I hit plus again, clear this and hit K. Whoops. I get this. How can we ensure these seeds are always generated correctly based on the map layout? All right, so I'm gonna have it fix this last issue with the seeds. But I love this. I think this is what I wanted. The real question is going to come down to, do I make the houses 3D or 2D? And I'm not sure yet what I really want to do with that. But that's going to require a lot more work anyways, because first off, this is where I'm getting kind of... So technically this would be up one, up one, up one, up one, up one. And I'm fine with cliffs. Like, I don't think it needs to always like go to water like this. I think in these cases, when you have mountains that are in the water, they're just cliffs. These should be sort of like beaches. These are the trees. And what I was thinking is that the trees should be up one. So that would make this, 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 this. This up. Because the trees can have a texture around them. The one thing that I would do though is that I think the trees I also don't know why it's making them. There we go. It's funny, those all look like that should have been a mountain. Oh well, whatever. Like, I think the trees should be like this, but I think the trees should always have grass around them. At least on their sides. It could be diagonal like this, so you could have like an alcove. But yeah, because then this tree goes here. Oh, it looks so cool. That actually came out like really exactly how I was thinking about it. What is this thing doing? I'm going to search the engine file for the seed bumping and conversion helper I added to replace with the deterministic computing based on map layout. Cool. Notice how, so I think this is like, this is what I'm starting to see now. So you notice how we've been working on this one chat, and at this point it's no longer giving me the Git commands. It's just now going off and doing its own thing. Also, I need to tell it to like stop being so like, it's like, it's so hard to like tell what's going on because like this dumps so much information. If you need to see to include more than land or water, i.e. hills, mountains, I can just send the hash to include. Hash should include all tile types. It should restore the map to its original state, and we can use the seed to move backwards in time, backwards or forward in time to see how things change. And save state. So it should include buildings, farms, and any other modifications to the land or future. All right, let's see if it's able to figure this out, and then I think this is sort of where I'll be leaving you guys. But at this point, I think I made some pretty decent progress. So the game should also still work. Like, here's a forest. What we're going to do is this. We're going to always try to start with building out farms. And I'm going to get rid of the... we'll just put this shadowing back. It actually isn't that bad, the Fog of War. So we do this, and then let's see, what are we going to do from here? So now we'll end our turn. We'll turn this forest into grass. We'll end our turn. We'll continue, and now we have some rubble. I hate, like, it's so aggressive. We'll put someone in this farm. I'm going to turn this into a farm, and I think I have one more action. But I need wood. So we need to go find a forest, and we're going to chop that down. And now we end our turn. We're going to... Oh, we lost 2 people. Starvation, food shortage, the storm reduced a farm. Completed grass storage. Yeah, like it's like impossible to end turn. I'm just trying to see if I can grow the food. And everyone died. Cool. That was a fun, happy game. Yeah, there's definitely some balancing issues that need to happen, which is fine. I just need to turn off the events and stuff. I need to get this whole area becoming my debug window. So, hello, low-key game dev. How's it going? Just saw your chat. Sorry, not good at reading the chats that much. I want this desk to go up. There we go. Is it working on the seed now? I love it. It's just no longer giving me what I implement. Deterministic full state hash. When it runs, behavior, toggle a tile to water. Seed changes deterministically. Toggle back to the same previous state. Any further modification ability farm are encoded in the hash. So saving and restoring state via seed is consistent. If you want the hash to ignore discovery, so fog changes don't add to the seed. Say the word and I'll drop that. How did I make this and how many hours did it take? I made it through ChatGPT 5 and it's all WebGL. And how long has it taken? Maybe like, I'd say I'm probably like 6 hours in, maybe. It's always hard to say because I'm always working on like multiple projects, but the core game it took from my game design document really quick. Now it's just me trying to figure out how to make this different and interesting. All right. So what I want to see now, let me restart this real quick. Start. Let's just take something like this, and I don't, like, how do you even compare? Whoops. Let's copy out this seed. We're going to put this down. Copy. And now what I want to see is that if we move this back up, it's going to be different because it was a different type of tile. Let me move it down again to see if we get, we should now be getting a pattern. Nope. It is just completely full of shit. Didn't do any of that I asked it to do. In fact, that didn't even... Oh. Well, that didn't do it because it didn't copy the... Yeah, the whole thing of what I wanted to see was if ChatGPT 5 can turn my game into an idea. I mean, I designed this to be a very simple game. Mechanically speaking, it's basically like a coffee break for X. I've been really interested in how do I distill down like civilization or colonization, which I think where this is going to go more towards. The random seed is not working correctly. Here are some variations where all I did was raise and lower the same tile, and it gives me different codes every time. Let's do this. We're going to make this a little bit more fair. We'll start this. I'm going to hide this. We're going to do grass. So this is the current seed. We'll copy this seed. We're going to lower this, which will give us this seed now. And then we're going to raise the same one. And I want to see if it returns it back to... Okay, fine. Maybe I just didn't refresh the page. Well, this is part of my problem, is that it's not copying out correctly. All right, it's working. Good. Okay, so forget that. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do: git add git commit fixing random seed to restore full state of map. All right. I think this is where I'm going to call it a day so I can move on to some other projects. But what I'm going to do is, yeah, especially like a map like this, this should be, first off, this should be 2, 2, 2, 1. There needs to be like some sort of logic that's like more Minesweeper-ish, where each, like certain tiles have a height, and yeah, let me see if I can do this. Maybe this will be the last thing we do. Okay, we'll keep all these changes. Now I want to build in height logic to the maps, to the tiles, similar to how Minesweeper works, where tiles increase based on their well, let's not tell it Minesweepers. This is going to get all confused. Now I want to build in height logic to the tiles. So water is always 0, grass is 1, trees are 2, mountains are 3, and when mountains are touching, they increase by 1 and increase all the tiles around them 8 directions to this way mountains can grow and you can have different biomes on different levels based on the height of the mountains on the island. And when done, give me commit messages again. All right, I'm going to end the stream now, but I'll be streaming tomorrow, and I'll probably make some progress along the way with this. But thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.